So this is a 2024 Renegade Classic. The model number on this is a 45 CBF. This is built on the Cascadia chassis, 45 feet in length. This has a Detroit 600 engine with an Allison transmission. We're gonna do a walkthrough and orientation. So a couple things here. We're gonna start here on this right side or passenger side. You have this first compartment that has your Truma fridge. This can be either a freezer or a refrigerator or both. It is powered by 12 volts or 110, whichever you want to use it. You see the two different cords in there. Controls for it are on the side of it, on the left side. As you can see, it's got a it's sitting on a slide tray, so the whole thing slides out with those little latches there. Now in here we have our slide locks. These are mainly used for emergencies. You're not typically going to be using these. You see that right there? That's to run extension cords and stuff out the bottom, because we have an outlet there, so you can keep this door locked and run extension cords out the bottom. This thing is also a cover for your entry step area here on the side. And then we have our outside TV. You do have a keyless entry system there. You can program your code to that, custom code. Then we have the AquaHot system. So this AquaHot system, this is AquaHot 600D. In this bay we have our airline. The hookup port is on the other side. Big Gen Y hitch. In here we have our stuff for our central vacuum system. So there's hookups for it inside. There's the hoses and whatnot. Or you can also hook it up out here if you want to use it out here. There's also an outlet. Of course, our hitching system does have the hookup there for a Voyager camera system for your stacker trailer or any trailer equipped with a Voyager camera system. And of course, we have our glad hands for a stacker trailer with hydraulic brakes, or air brakes, I should say. Now coming down this side, we have this is where our 50 amp short cord goes. Power transfer, or our automatic transfer switch with a surge cord built into it. However, you will want to get a surge protector for your pedestal where you plug in, because this guy right here is expensive. It's probably like $700 plus another $300 to install at minimum. So you want to protect this guy with a $150 surge protector on the pedestal, right? This short cord is a manual pull out and power retract with that button. And something neat, because the generator on this rig is so humongous, we have we have excess electricity, so much so that Renegade gives you a 50 amp plug out here, so you can power your anything you want, really. I guess it's primarily meant for your stacker trailer, so you can provide power to it. So it has its in case you got a stacker trailer with equipped with rooftop AC, or a couple of them, you can power it with that outlet there. And of course, we have our ginormous Onan quiet diesel 12,500 watt generator. Now, important to note, this does have a start-stop switch out here, so you can start it from out here as well as inside. Hour meter, and most importantly, you have a breaker. There's some breakers up in there. So if ever you have this generator running and you're not getting any AC power, any voltage inside, no 110 power, check the breaker out here. That can potentially trip. It does have access. You can pop open that door there to get to the dipstick and other stuff on the engine. Now, beautiful tandem axle. Now, important to note, this is not, people look at this and say like, oh, it's got a tag axle. This is not a tag axle. These are two drive axles. The difference between that, like on a, say like a big, you know, say like an American Eagle 45-foot bus, that'll have a tag axle. That means the front one of the double axles would be your drive axle, and the other one, they call it a tag because it just tags along. It doesn't have no gears in it or anything. It's just for to add extra weight bearing capacity. On these rigs, this is two actual drive axles with differentials in them, so a lot more capability in something like this. This is a serious towing rig. Now here's our wet bay. You have a water filter. There's a wrench for the water filter. Sewer hose can go in there. These are your dumps. You pull those to dump your tanks. The tanks are actually dumped over here. Now this one has a macerator system that was optional, that was ordered with it. If you don't want to use a macerator, you want to use a conventional 3.5-inch hose, you can disconnect from right here and just hook up your hose there and go out there or here. However, if you want to use your macerator, well, there it is, with all the adapters you might need. And you turn on your macerator over here on this little red switch. It's right there. Now we do have a hose reel for this. We can reel that in. That is a manual pull out and power retract. We have low point drains here. You can also hook up a hose here and get water out of it from here. That's usually stored here. Now this green handle, normally you're going to run it in the up position city water, whether you're running city water or off the tanks. Now you're going to put this down. By putting it down, that's going to redirect the city water that you have connected here on this white hose. It'll redirect that water in to fill your onboard tank. And then when you're done topping off your tank, you're just going to put it back. We have cable in, and that is a flush for the black tank. So if you need to flush your black tank, or actually you need to flush your black tank, you're always going to want to do that after dumping your tanks. And that's something that's neat, huh? We can check the status of our stuff. Now we don't have to run inside to see how much, as we're filling our fresh tank or we're trying to top it off, we don't need to run inside to see how much we've gotten in there so far. Or maybe you just want to fill it to 50% and you can view that here without having to run inside. Not to mention you can see the status of your gray and black as you're draining them. And this is the heart of the electronics on this bus. So we have these ginormous Dragonfly lithium batteries. That is a lot of power right there. Additionally, we have two Victron 3000 watt inverters. We have solar. This bus is equipped with I think total of 600 watts of solar up there. There's like 3 solar panels. Each is like 200 watts. So a lot of capability as well in the solar department. But yeah, a lot of lithium cells there. And then this bay has our starting batteries. And then this is where you connect your air hose. This is your quick connect right there. And various other electronics. You want to be careful if you're storing anything in there. There's no, that you do not put any liquids that might spill on the electrical stuff in here. Coming up this way. So this is where you fuel your bus. See this? You don't have the dual fills that I know a lot of people don't like. So you can fill it just on one side. Your tank is just right here. It is 120 gallons, as it says right there, right? Then your depth goes right there. Now, in here, we'll look at the cockpit stuff after we go inside. But in here, we have our disconnect. This is a disconnect for the chassis, for the engine, not for the motorhome, the house stuff in the back. This is just for the engine. So if you're going to store this long term and it's plugged in to shore power, you'll still want to turn this off because the shore power just is not going to charge your starting batteries, right? So turn this off if you're going to long term store it, even though it's plugged in. And of course your seat controls, it's got air ride on the seats. And that's where you open the hood. Big Detroit 600 under the hood. I'm not going to open the hood, there's no point to it because this is all meant to be maintained by your Freightliner dealer as far as engine stuff goes. I guess one reason you might want to pop the hood open is your windshield washer fluid. I can't really see it from in here, but the windshield washer fluid is here on the side, so you'll want to lift the hood to top that off from time to time. Now we're going to get into the inside, and let's come inside. Now just stepping into it, the first thing that I want to point out is our disconnect switch. Remember those beautiful big lithium cells lithium battery cells I just showed you? Well, this right there, when that is on, that connects those batteries to the house, right? All this stuff. When that's off, everything goes off back here because, again, that's our connection to our batteries. We have an override. So every time you open and close this step or this door, our step goes in, open the door, our step goes out, right? Of course, if you're there at your campsite or at a racetrack or wherever you're at with your rig, opening and this door and waiting for the step to go out can get to be pretty annoying. So they give you this button. So I hit the override, and that's going to lock your step out. So it stays out now. Now it does have an emergency override. So if you turn the ignition on and this door is closed, it's gonna suck up that step. That way you don't forget and rip it off the side of the coach, right? Now the other button we have there, see that e-start? So that e-start is basically, it's a momentary switch. So when you're holding this down, that energizes a solenoid that is going to link your lithium batteries with the starting batteries up that I just showed you over there on the other side. So what is the point of that? So let's say that let's say you forgot your headlights on the bus and they were on all night, and in the morning it killed your battery. So in the morning you're trying to leave and the battery's dead. So what do you do? Well, we do have our lithium batteries that are fully charged, right? So we can hold this button down while somebody turns the ignition, and that's going to borrow some electricity from the lithium battery bank to allow you to start your engine. Once it starts, the charging system on the engine takes over and charges the starting batteries. That's why they call it an emergency start button. That doesn't work in reverse. Let's say your engine battery is good, but your lithium cells, you totally drained them because you were boondocking or something, and you need to get some juice to them so you can fire up your generator. Works in reverse. Just hold that while somebody presses the generator button. Unfortunately, it is a two-person operation since this is here away from the starting button for the generator or the engine. Now on the other side, we have this control panel. This control panel has some of our more commonly used items, like we have a master light switch here to turn off all our lights all at once. Inside lights anyway. We can turn on and off the porch light out here if we want to do that separately. Scene master, that's for, we got like underglow lighting under the bus that we can turn on and off with that. Exterior lights, master light switch for all the exterior lights, because there is quite a bit of lighting on the outside of this bus. Now we have two big awnings on the side out here. So anyway, so we have our buttons here for our awnings, front and rear. You do have to put them out one at a time. You can't do both at the same time. Trust me, I know, because I tried. It blocks you out from doing two at a time. Two big Gerard awnings. All right, so we are in the coach now. You can completely use this rig with the slides closed. But of course, you want your slides open, don't you? So let's do that. So we're gonna come here to our Firefly touch control panel. First thing we're gonna do is, let's start the generator, right? Let's get some juice going here. So here we are on our home page, which is this first icon up here. So I'm gonna hit stop. And as you can see, it says priming. That's gonna prime our generator. And we'll do that for about 5-10 seconds. And we should be good and primed. Now we can go ahead and start it. Next thing we're gonna do, we're gonna get here to our leveling system. Very simple to operate this. All we're going to do is we're going to hit auto level. That's it. All right, we hit auto level. And right now our jacks are going down. And looks like it's done leveling. So let's move on. So the next thing we're going to do is we are going to put out our slides. And this can be done from any of these touch control panels. As you can see, we have another one here. So we're going to come to this icon, second from the bottom. And we can operate leveling, which we just did. We can do awnings, and we can do slides here. This is everything that moves on this icon here. So we're gonna put out the rear. I always like to do rears first and then front. So rear RS, rear roadside. So typically that would be the driver's side. I wish they just say driver's side or passenger side. And you do have to hold your finger. Now when it gets to the end, hold it for about 5 seconds. Now we're going to do our rear curbside. That's what CS stands for. Now note the sound of this slide. These two slides. These are Schwintek slides. And once again, like on that other one, when it gets to the end of travel, hold it for 5 seconds. Listen to the slide. So when it gets to the end, hold it for 5 seconds. These Schwintek slides have 4 electric motors, one on each corner of the slide room that's hidden inside this wall here. And it's got little control module whose job it is to keep it all synchronized, because it's important that they all go in and out together, right? However, sometimes I notice that maybe one of the motors is maybe lagging behind the others. So holding it for an additional 5 seconds once it gets all the way out or all the way in will ensure that all 4 corners have, you know, met flush against the side of the coach. And hopefully that sound came across. That's how you can tell the difference between the 2 different kinds of slides. So now we're going to do the front. And when I do the front, I don't know if you can hear the difference in sound. This is not a Schwintek slide. This is a traditional hydraulic slide. It's got a hydraulic pump that operates the it's an electrically operated hydraulic pump. So I guess you could say it's electric over hydraulic. Operates a hydraulic pump, and that's what gives us our power to move this slide, as well as our leveling hydraulic leveling legs. Important note, I didn't do it here, I forgot, but you really, when you move these slides in and out, it is a good idea to have this door open, or have a window open, or one of the front cab doors open. Whether you're moving the slides in or out, it's a good idea to do that, because you're moving a lot of air when these things are going in. So for example, when I was putting this slide out, and you'll notice this when you put this slide out, if you do it with your door closed, you're going to hear the sound of rushing air around this door, because this is going out and it's sucking air in, because you got to displace that air. And you got to make up for that air that's now being like extra living space, right? So as it's going out, it's going to be sucking air in from here. And additionally, when you're bringing this in, now we're creating a smaller space in here, so it's wanting to compress the air that's already in here. So if you don't have this door open, it's going to be creating a lot of tension against this motor that's moving this slide in, and I don't know what can happen, but it's probably not good, right? It's not going to do that one time, but with repeated use like that, without opening a door, yeah, you could end up damaging something or putting a lot of stress on that motor that causes it to prematurely fail. So open a door, whether this door, one of the front cab doors, or a window, to let air in and out while you're operating slides. So anyhow, okay, so our slides are all now open. Washer and dryer, full size. Washer and dryer. Here we have our bunks, bed, king size bed, and our second of 2 full baths. A lot of space in there, right? So we have a French door refrigerator, Samsung full-size residential refrigerator. Now this is this has a SmartThings app connectivity. So basically, this means you can sync it with your SmartThings app on your phone or tablet and control stuff here, and get notifications from your refrigerator on your tablet or phone. Same thing with a microwave. This is also SmartThings compatible, so that can be also connected to your smartphone for additional features, control of the microwave and settings and whatnot. So pretty cool stuff. Now your stove or range is a true induction cooktop, so gotta have induction cookware to be able to take advantage of that. It does have a light that's built into this microwave, as well as an exhaust fan. Our sink, of course, is a single basin stainless steel sink. The shades are all manual. more drawers, more space. Now in here, these are your 110 breakers. You got 2 rows of them, and this right here is connected to our Victron inverters as well as our charging system. So this shows you what's going on here. So for example, it's showing us that we have we're currently charging, our generator is running, and we're getting electricity going into the loads that we have, like for example the air conditioning. We got 2 legs of 110 coming in, and this is showing us how much is going into each leg. This shows us our shore power coming in, and of course our battery banks over here, our lithium cells, how much charge those are getting. Most of the time you don't have to interact with this system. This does its thing on its own. So like I say, most of the time you're not going to need to do anything with that. Alright. Now up here, this is where you would hook up. This coach is equipped with a in-motion satellite system, so if you wanted to hook up a satellite, box, or this is where you would hook it up. So this is part of your WineGuard system. So you have a WineGuard antenna on the roof, and also in combination with that you have a WineGuard Wi-Fi antenna and router. So this turns on your antenna for the TVs, off-air antenna. This turns on the Wi-Fi system. So this is assuming, this would be for the WineGuard subscription service if you're going to take advantage of that. Otherwise you don't need to turn that on. And of course, if you were using cable piped in through the outside where the cable in is located, then you would turn that off. Right? Additionally, so these 2 couches, these make into beds. So then these are full-size beds. See that? Basically just lift that. I'm not going to put the beds out right now. Just I need my other hand for the camera, but these come out quite a bit all the way over here. So both of those do the same thing. And up here you have this loft area. You can see I've set up the ladder. 400-pound capacity in the bunk area. And what do we have up here? So we got this nice little shelf for our cell phone or tablets. We also have USB charging as well as USB-C charging as well as outlets, right? Control panel for fan. So you have this fan right there. So you can control that from right here. You can turn off the panel lights if you want. That way you can have total darkness if you're trying to sleep up here, as well as some lighting, and a master switch for all the lights. But most importantly, you have this cool hatch right here. So this right here is to get up on the roof. The roof is walkable, so a lot of people use these for, hauling race trailers, being at racetracks. So if you're on a racetrack, like a lot of people like to do, get on the roof of the rig and spectate, right? Watch the race. So this allows you to get easy access to the roof. Just make sure when you close that, it's a little hard to close if you don't know what you're doing. Just make sure you pay attention to how these latches work. So you ensure that you close them properly, because if you don't close them properly, you're going to have water, wind, whatever coming in. drive-through rain, you'll end up getting a bunch of water in here. So make sure you latch them properly, latch the two catches properly when you close it. Now this section right here, you can remove it if you're not going to be using this bunk area, so you can get easier access to the cab, and we'll talk more about the cab here in a little bit. And also you'll notice these pucks right here in the floor, and those are for tables. So it may not be apparent right off the bat, but you'll see that there's no dining area, there's no dining table. So this becomes your dining table right here. See these tables back here? So you have 4 poles that you stick right here, and you set up your tables, and that becomes your dining area. Pretty neat, huh? Now, full-size washer and dryer. As well as pull-out pantry drawers. Coming back, of course, you have your bunk area. Nice little integrated ladder. Drawers there for the bunks. You got TVs. They are DVD players as well. I don't know if you can see it, but they're DVD players. They do swing out. And of course, shades and privacy curtains. So you can basically close that off. You have your own private little space. And this is our first full bath. Our electric toilets. So eco for very little flushing, normal is what you normally want to use, and empty to empty the bowl. Now this shower door, this is made out of real glass. Main thing you need to know about this is when you're traveling, you want to make sure you engage this lock. See that? Otherwise that door could end up broken. Now this little black thing, you'll see several. There should be at least 3 of these floating about. That is a temperature sensor for the air conditioning system. You have another one back there on that wall. So another control panel here, and then another control panel here. That one does allow you to turn the generator on and off from right there, in addition to the Firefly touch control system. You can see you got outlets on either side of the bed, as well as USB ports, little map or reading lights. Now, under this bed, it's kind of hard to do with one hand, but you do have your water tanks. Those are your fresh water tanks. That's a total of 150 gallons of water in there. Water pump lives there. There's a T handle right there for a dump valve that'll dump the water out of your fresh water tanks. That is where you connect your central vacuum hose system. So another TV, more storage. Note that this is cedar lined. How about that, huh? Very deep shelf. You can put all kinds of stuff up here. Then this is where you would connect another satellite box, DirecTV Dish Network. I don't know if I mentioned, but this coach is equipped with an in-motion satellite system that'll support up to 2 receivers. So you could have one receiver back here and that would give you satellite shared between this TV and the outside TV. And then the connection up there that I showed you up there, that would be a shared connection between that TV there in the living area and the front bunk area. Next thing we're going to talk about, and probably the final thing we're going to talk about, is the Firefly system. The Firefly system is this touch control system. Actually, we're going to use this panel over here since it's easier to get to. So, let me give you a quick rundown as to how it works. So, these icons on the left side represent a different page on this screen. So, starting with our top icon is our home page, right? It says home. Light master. We can see the status on our air conditioning, front, mid, rear. Right now they're all currently off. You can see the status on our tanks. Fresh, gray, black. We have our water pump. Grayed out is off. Red is on. We also have tank heaters. Those are like electric blankets that are glued to the underside of the gray and the black tank to keep them from freezing. In case you're in sub-freezing temperatures. You can start and stop your generator from right here. You can view your status on your batteries, house battery and the chassis battery. Chassis battery, of course, is our 2 starting engine batteries. And then we have our house battery bank, which of course is our lithium cells. Now this will get you to your this is where you can enable the AGS system. The coach is equipped with an AGS system, automatic generator start system, and you can enable it right there at that button. Then we can look at our lighting page, and of course we have all our lights right here. This is exterior lighting. Currently everything's turned off, outside anyway. Front lighting, everything's turned on. Rear lighting, this is the rear, the coach back there. So this is where you can turn off and on individual lights. Then our RGB setup. This is where you can control this pretty accent lighting that we have throughout the coach. You can set it to whatever color you want, or you can make them alternate colors like it's doing now. You can set a solid color if you just want that. You can set the brightness. You can make them flash. You can all kinds of stuff, right? This one is our electrical page. Shows you all the stats on your electrical. Normally you're not going to have to mess with this page. All that happens automatically. However, if you want to get into the details of what's going on with your electric, you can do so there. And this is where we control our air conditioning. We have front, mid, and rear of the coach. Cool, cool, cool. That tells us that all those are highlighted, so that tells us that our air conditioning is turned on. All 3 ACs are on. However, these 2 are currently off because the temperature is it's achieved its intended target, right? The front one just turned on, and it's not very loud at all. We also have heat pumps on all 3, so we can get heat pump heat from there, all electric, or we can use our Aqua Hot. We have Aqua Hot. The Aqua Hot will heat the entire cabin. However, it's only shown here on the front and rear, mainly because the Aqua Hot system is it divides the coach into 2 halves as opposed to 3 with the air conditioning, but it will heat the entire cabin. The Aqua Hot, in order for the Aqua Hot to work, you must have at minimum Aqua Hot electric or Aqua Hot burner on. Right here we are currently running both. Now the Aqua Hot electric does have a high setting and a low setting. Right there's off, right there's low, and right there's high. That's for the electric element. In Aqua Hot electric, you're probably going to want to use electric when you're on park power, you're plugged in somewhere. Aqua Hot burner, you can use the burner when you don't have a 110 source and you don't want to run your generator, and just that'll run on 12 volts, like off the batteries. Or you can run both like we're doing now. When you're running on both, that makes the system run at its highest capacity. So When you want to use a lot of hot water, you're going to want to run both. Also, the burner heats up water the fastest, so when you first run the system, I recommend you run the burner initially for the first 15 minutes to get the system up to temperature, and then you can just revert back to electric if you're plugged in. Then turn off the burner. Here you can see where you can, this is where you can set up your or turn on and off your heated floors. So the floors are heated, and turn it on and off there. Just keep in mind it does take quite a long time to get hot. It may take as long as 4 to 6 hours to get good and warm. Then here we can control the heat in our bays. Again, this is only going to work if the aqua hot is turned on. The aqua hot heat is turned on, right? Right now it's turned off, so it's not really doing anything. You can control our vent fans. So we have vent fans in both toilets, and you also have just one here in the living area. So you can control those through there, through this control panel here. You just saw that. Main climate, back to this. And then this right here gets us to our, we can turn on the ceiling fan in the bedroom. There we go. That's on high. Do it high or low. Living room fan. So we got 2 ceiling fans on this coach, living room and bedroom. You can control it from here or the switches on the walls. This is where you turn on your in-motion satellite system. This little icon second from the bottom, this is our things that move page. Here we can control our leveling system. Currently the jacks are down. We can control our slides by hitting that. So we can bring in all 3 slides or put them out. The engine does have to be up for this stuff to work. It's on this page. We can control our awnings in and out from here. Again, engine has to be off. If the engine is running, none of this stuff on this particular page is going to work. Our jacks won't work, our slides won't work, and our awnings won't work. So keep that in mind. Then the last thing is our settings page. And here you can set the time. You can adjust the brightness. You can set cleaning mode. Cleaning mode just basically turns the screen off for 15 seconds to allow you to wipe it without, you know, making the system go wacky over here. You can set it to Celsius. Floor plan is set at the factory, so you can't really do anything with that. You can get into the aqua hot diagnostics page. Normally you don't have to mess with that. Network diagnostics, again, normally you don't have to mess with that. That's for technicians to work with if they're trying to diagnose an issue. And then lastly, our mobile app. So by scanning that QR code right there, you can download this Vega Touch Mirror app that will allow you to basically everything that's on this screen will now be on your phone, and you can control the coach, at least everything that's on this system, through your phone. Once it downloads, it'll ask you to scan for devices, and it'll find if you're at a campground, or for example here at the RV shop, it's probably going to find several different coaches that, you know, because there's several coaches around here that have that same system. So it'll find different ones. You just want to make sure to select the one that matches your user ID. That's right there, the mirror ID. And it'll ask you for a PIN number, and right now that's a default PIN, and then it'll most of the time it's going to ask you to set a new PIN number after you log in to set up something unique. Once it's done, it may do a firmware update. Sometimes they do, and then you'll be good to go. You'll be able to operate everything that you've seen here now on your phone. So hope that makes sense. Keep in mind this, now the app is it connects by Bluetooth, so you do have to be within 20-30 feet of the coach for it to work. You get outside of that range, it's not going to work. All right, so I hope all that made sense. That's our Firefly touch control system, and then we're going to talk about some stuff up here in the front. This is our cockpit of our Cascadia chassis. So let's do something here. First off, we're gonna retract our jacks. So I'm gonna fire up the engine and it's gonna start squawking at me because it doesn't like the jacks being down when I'm running the engine. Leveling, and to retract them, all you do is hit all retract. So the jacks are coming in. Once the jacks are all the way up, those red lights that you see there will no longer be lit. Now that's our physical control panel for our jacks. You can see that it looks identical to what we saw in the Firefly system. It says operating because it's operating. And again, 4 buttons lit, and those will go off once the jacks are all up. Take a seat here. Now this coach is equipped with the CB. See that? We got some storage bins up here. Alright, so in the meantime, while the jacks are finishing coming up, we're going to fire this thing up. Foot on the brake. Turn the ignition. That's over here on the left side. Alright. Now our equalizer finally stopped beeping. No longer have the 4 red lights indicating the jacks are up. Now we can either turn this off or it'll turn off by itself after a few minutes. We're going to turn it off. Now we just fired it up. It does say brake air supply pressure low. That's normal if it's been sitting not running for a while. You just have to wait until this air pressure goes up. Shouldn't take too long. There you go. And if you watch closely, let's see if I can get in there. You see you have a P and an S, primary and secondary. That's for our our braking systems. You know, it's got a primary, then it's got a backup, which is a secondary. Those are shown there, two lines. Now it's above the red line, so now it's no longer beeping at us. You'll note it's got this message that pops up here. Trying to see if I can get you a better angle of that. Max throttle detent during ABA overrides Detroit assurance. That's the standard message. You just click OK here in the center. That goes away. That's basically just letting you know that it's got the Detroit assurance safety braking system. So in conjunction with the radar and cameras that are up here and in the front of the coach, it'll activate emergency braking in certain conditions. It's just that little message is just basically letting you know if you wanted to override the braking, you just basically mash the accelerator. That's basically what that message says. So you just OK, and it's going to pop up every time you start the engine. So that is normal. So here we have our gauges. Our cruise control is set over here. Now this does not have an on-off for cruise control. You just hit set and that's automatically going to start it or activate the cruise control. Then volume buttons for the radio here, as well as your touch controls for the to control your phone if you have it paired to the radio. Now this radio, if some of you that may have a Mercedes vehicle might recognize this system, because this is a Mercedes-Benz infotainment system. It's made by Mercedes. That's why it looks very similar to what a Mercedes car might have or a Sprinter van may have. Here we can of course see our gauges. It's very customizable. So here we have some gauges, and you see we got 3 pages. So you can customize it, different gauges you can add right here. So very customizable. Go back to our home page. We can see the cab here in the cab stuff. We can see our regen stuff. We can have an alarm clock we can set. Our settings page is here. Chassis has, for example, our tires. We can view in real time our tire pressures. You can see our temperatures for our tires. That's pretty neat, huh? As well as the status of the battery. So each one of the sensors for this tire pressure monitoring system has batteries, little lithium batteries that are in there inside the tire. And this will tell us the health of those batteries. Typically those things last from 5 to 10 years in most cases, but this allows us to look at that. Axles, we can see what our axles are doing. And we can lock the axles using these buttons down here. Maintenance, this will tell you when you need to be thinking about the oil change coming up. Diagnostics lets you know if there's any issues with the coach, if there's any trouble codes or anything that pop up. This is where you would view and tell you more information. Active driver alerts, Allison diagnostics for the transmission, and it'll also tell you stuff about maintenance on that, as well as the other thing that's in here is your navigation system. So again, this is Mercedes. So those of you with a Mercedes vehicle will recognize this interface here. Your phone, this is where you would connect your phone. You got FM radio here, including Sirius satellite, AM. Very nice system. Media, smartphone. This will you can pair your phone to it wirelessly. However, you can also use it with Apple CarPlay or Android Auto. For that, you need to hook up your cable here into your phone. This other one is just a charging port. Headlight switch over here. This is for headlight and fog lights. This is your brake. That activates the gain on your brakes. Trailer brake control, and of course parking brake here, and parking brake for your trailer if you got like a big stacker trailer hooked up there. Lights, regen, bypass, footwell lighting, that's down here. You can see that. That will go off. Dome light is up here over our heads. Emergency lights, utility lights, that's out there in the front. Automatic traction. Say that 3 times or 1 time correctly, Frank. Automatic traction control. Said this is where you can deactivate it, like right there. I deactivated. You get that message on the dash. Let's put that back on. Normally you want that on. That comes on by default. However, if you're in certain conditions, you may want it off, like you're on ice or snow or something where traction is limited. You might want to activate that. Lane departure warning, you can turn that warning off here. Override for engine shutdown, and I think you can do it up to 3 times before it will shut it down, and it won't let you choose anymore. Interlock for our axles and our differential is here to lock those, and then as well as suspension height. Normally when you level the system, it's going to let the air out the airbags. However, if you want to do it manually for whatever reason, maybe you need to get the coach down low to get it into a garage or something, this will help you with that. And then this right here will, if you want to, like normally you're viewing this observation camera here, but if you wanted to switch the view to maybe a trailer that you have connected back there using the Voyager system, that will allow you to do it. One other thing you do have up here is seat controls, of course, right? Most interesting one, of course, being this. This is our air system, so we lower the seat by air. It's got an airbag right under the seat, or we can raise it by air. That's really high, right? Too high. We don't need it that high. It's, like I said, air control. So anyway, that is our walkthrough and orientation of this amazing Renegade Classic. With that, I'm going to leave you If you enjoyed this video and want to see more content like this, please consider subscribing to my YouTube channel. You'll find it here. Frank at the Shop is how you'll find it. I hope you guys have a fantastic day.